you guys. It's me, Just Kaya. Real Talk Daily. Okay. I was sitting in my house, in my bedroom, minding my own business. I was minding my own business. I'm just chilling. I made my kids some tacos and refried beans and Spanish rice, and I fed my babies. I came in here and I was just chilling. Wow, I got a notification. Lapeef Let's Talk Men Talk is on live. Amen. Let's go on and get this men talk. Let's see what these beautiful black men are talking about. I love this show. I love all their shows, and I'm so grateful and thankful for all the knowledge. Okay, though. No, ma'am. Okay. I come on here because I got something to talk about. I got something to say, Mr. Shannon, with your beautiful, handsome face, physique, beautiful, handsome man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for talking and sharing with these young men and the things you do on your platform. I've listened to maybe one or came in on maybe one or two lives. I haven't really dug into your show that much at this point. But yeah, I guess we met somewhere. I don't remember. Or maybe we had maybe you seen things on my channel. Maybe you listened to my podcast. I don't remember any of these things. My point is, I don't know you, and you don't know me. So it just it makes me wonder, how can you come to the conclusion so passionately? So you was convicted that I was lying. My brother, I wasn't. I have no reason to lie. I have no reason. And I just don't understand how you and everyone else that has developed these opinions about me, stating that I'm lying for one, while listening to a conversation that was 85% one-sided, where I didn't get a chance to complete one answer. I didn't complete one answer. I was cut off. And then Mr. Samuels went on to say what he wanted to say, which is perfectly fine. Amen. Okay. My issue is, how do you conclude that I'm lying? I wasn't. And you said I changed my story. I never changed my story. I was trying to add context to what we were talking about, but I was not given that chance. So it was bits and pieces out of order of what I was trying to answer questions. These were all brought questions to me. I didn't even go there to talk about that. But it's all good. I don't regret it. I'm quite thankful for it. I don't regret anything in my life. I love hearing the opinions from all these platforms and listening to these amazing black men that I'm hearing from, or hearing from their platform, I should say. And then I love the fact that on a certain level, you guys are feeding into these young men coming up. However, once again, the young man asked you a question and you turned it on me. But we're going to look into this now. And yeah, let's have a conversation. And if you're interested, I hope that you watch this. Hear in sequence, maybe, what happened to a limited degree. I know you're not that concerned about it. I know that's not really the issue. It just seemed like men want to say, oh, she's lying. She's lying. Her story changed. No, it couldn't be that I'm telling the truth and that this man did this, and it's okay. He needs someone maybe to talk to him, educate him, and a man to feed into him instead of just trying to tear me down. But let's get into it. I appreciate you. And yeah, I just wanted to come over here and let you know I'm not lying. So we're going to take a look at what you said. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Thank you for your time. If you're watching, and if you're not, whoever out there in the whole wonderful world of YouTube that's watching, I appreciate you. And whatever comments and comebacks you're going to give me, it's all good. It's a good thing to express yourself, whether right or wrong. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, guys, so I queued it up to where Mike 7 is going to pose a question and kind of bring up when when Kevin Samuels came on the show to address little old me. I didn't call for him, but he came. But that's okay. So we're going to pick up there, and this is Lapeef. Let's Talk Men's Talk, I think it's called. Yeah, so let's listen.
That low level threat of violence is not there for women today. It's nice. They're nice and protected at all angles. Okay. So they use everything that they have.
It should be coming up any second.
To the limit.
All right, Jetta, you got some more questions for us?
Here we go.
What is this mindset thinking that you could go into depression because it is men's mental health awareness month, whatever, saying that these songs that are promoting that, and men thinking like, okay, they'll accept, they'll be complacent in a life of mediocrity, right? Where we just think of in a way, whereas today as men, they don't strive to be ambitious, right? And I think that, in my personal opinion, I think, an ambitionless man, I think, is a lost man. He's not really striving to be greater than where he was yesterday. That's my personal opinion. So my question is to you, what is your perspective on terms of men remaining, like for example, we had that situation with the man, with the woman that, I forgot her name, that Kevin said,
Kaya.
the one that's smoking weed all day. And I forgot her name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Kaya, yeah, right. Yeah. So the husband, as you know, you were talking about JR, like if he was here, you would say the same thing, like how do you accept a man, a man could just accept just smoking weed in day while the wife going out working and everything like that. And why is that? I pose that question out to you guys. Why do you think that complacency is there? And also, how do you break that?
So the show that you're talking about is where Kevin was saying that the guy is he's not a producer male. Everybody's not going to be a producer male. Everybody wants to be alpha. Like, remember the show I did where I talked about this? There's not just alpha and beta males. There's alpha, beta, gamma, delta, sigma, and omega type personalities. And everybody's not going to be a producer male. And so the woman that called in was complaining because she wrecked her family. She divorced her man simply because she said that he was a house husband.
First of all, I wasn't complaining. I was answering questions. Not one complaint. I took total accountability. I did not wreck my family. We're very much, striding forward. I'm doing good, actually. So I didn't wreck my family, okay? I wasn't complaining. I was asked a question. Let's continue.
Yet that was the nature of their relationship. He was supposed to be a house husband, and he was there to raise the children. And when the children got of a certain age, he was chilling.
No. Okay. In the beginning, when me and my ex-husband first got together, he told me that he was going to be at a certain point doing this business with one of his friends that owned a barber shop. Somehow, I didn't get into any details. We weren't married at the time. We were just dating, whatever, okay? As time went on and I got pregnant and had my son, okay, I was asking him, like, what's up? What are you going to do? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to, do that thing with, oh, boy, oh, okay. More time would go by, still nothing. At this time, I'm going to work still, of course, doing everything, and I was already a nurse before this gentleman came into my life. Was already established. I had no kids. We had a kid together, okay? And then my mother was watching the kids. So as time went on, that he wasn't working and was lying, saying he was going to do this. And I was like, it came a point, years later down the line, it came a point where I went to go see my tax guy. And we were doing my taxes. And I was just like overwhelmed because I had to pay so much in taxes. He's like, well, your husband, he doesn't work. I said, no. So he said, we can write him off. So he put him on there to write him off, okay? So at that point, I said, okay. I stopped paying a babysitter, wanted to, and I talked with my husband. We had a discussion about him, taking over the responsibility of making sure being home with the kids, okay? So this is years later. Let's say this is about, my son was 3. I just had a daughter. No, my daughter wasn't even born yet. This is when my son was 3 years old, okay? So he said he's going to do that. He started to do okay with that. He was keeping our son. I had a daughter after that. Okay, that's a whole nother story, okay? But I had another daughter. I had a daughter after that. So things start slowly going back to me doing everything after I had my daughter. Go to work, come home. I have to do everything for the kids. I end up having to get a sitter at that point again because he's not doing what he needs to do. As more time goes on, he still wasn't doing what we agreed upon. So I start pushing more so the issue of him getting a job. And then marijuana started. Yes, he was smoking a little bit in the beginning, but nothing. Then that started coming into play. And then it went on from there. It was a progression on from there. But let's go back and finish listening to what they're saying. Okay? Because they know more than I know about my life.
Like many housewives do. And so Kevin was like, well, wait a minute. Why did you throw away the relationship at the end of after he did his job?
He did not do his job. He did not do one thing that he promised to do. Not one. He would do it for a short amount of time to get me off his back, and then he would go back to doing exactly what he was doing. And then as time kept going on, he would get even more complacent, more, increasing with the weed smoking. And then he started beginning to go hang out with his friends in the old hood all the time, hanging out. It was always something. It was always a game. It was always a sporting event or something. Okay? Let's continue.
You were the one that wanted to go get the degree. You were the one that wanted to go be a boss. You were the one that wanted to go, flex and go make all the money.
That is not true, Mr. Shannon. Okay? So we would have to go back further in my life to know why I got the degree. But I'm not even going to do that at this moment. I will do that later. I did not want to flex. I'm not a flexing type person. It's just not me. Okay, Mr. Shannon? No, I didn't want to be a boss. That's not even in my nature, okay? I'm very humble. I'm very subservient, okay? I did what I had to do before. I was a nurse. I got my degree before this man entered into my life, okay? So I didn't do it to flex, no, okay? That's a whole nother story why I went to college, and I will be sharing that as well. And if you would like, you can go over to my podcast and see what chain of events led me to go to college. Okay, Mr. Shannon? No flexing here. I don't do that, Mr. Shannon. Okay? No, I don't even wear designer clothes. I don't do that. I'm very family oriented. I'm very traditional, Mr. Shannon. I'm still trying to figure out, where have we ever met that you know me so well? Oh, you don't know me. Let's continue.
And he stayed home. And he stayed home and probably played video games and kept the house clean.
Right.
He did not keep the house clean, Mr. Shannon, because I got tired of coming home and have to clean the house. I hired a house cleaner keeper after a certain point to do the deep cleaning in the house, Mr. Shannon. He did not keep the house clean. Okay, let's continue.
She complained about him keeping it, he kept the house clean, he raped.
I complain? He kept the house clean? Shannon, you know my ex? You was in our house? Did you pay for the housekeeper? Did you have to pay for the tutor for our kids? Because he wasn't even helping with the schoolwork? I don't know where I was at. I was somewhere else. That didn't happen in my house, in my marriage with the man I'm talking about. Okay?
Raised the kids, he took the kids to school. She said that later on, I think she started changing her story, saying that he wasn't doing all of that, but we saw through all of that. I think she was lying just to save face. But the reality is
What the fuck? Yes, I'm a Christian. What the fuck do I need to lie for, Mr. Shannon? What is that gonna do for me? Why do I need to lie to these people? I don't even know. Excuse my masculinity coming out when I say the F word. Oh, naughty Kaya. A traditional woman said the F word. Oh my God. A Christian woman said the F word. Hang me at the stake. Come on, Mr. Shannon. You sound ridiculous. If you want to repeat what I said, you need to go back and listen again. I did not change one thing. Okay? Let's continue.
every man is not going to be a producer male, right? Every man is not going to be and have ambition or goals or have a vision for a particular thing. However, I think that's not necessarily great. I think that all males should have that. That's one of the jobs that we're here to build. We're here to problem solve.
Okay. Now you're getting back on track, Mr. Shannon. Okay. I don't know why you felt the need for one to call me a liar, for another to say I changed things around, for another saying that what about him doing what he wasn't doing, okay? That had nothing to do with the question, okay, for one. But it's all good, Mr. Shannon. I would encourage you to get, if you want to, try to paraphrase what I was saying, maybe go back and listen again so you can hear for yourself. I did not get a chance to answer completely one question. Not one, okay? And I didn't change anything. And you were about to say, well, she went back and said, oh, he wasn't taking the kids. I didn't go back. When Mr. Kevin Samuel was saying, what about the time frame, I was trying to tell him that was supposed to be our agreement back when my son was 3 years old. After I seen my CPA say, okay, you can write your husband off. And we sat down and had a conversation, but not at one point did he uphold his end of the agreement, Mr. Shannon, with your fine self. You are fine, brother. You look very good. You're a handsome brother. All y'all brothers are handsome. You really are. But instead of blaming us women, instead of blaming us and assuming that we're lying, hold your fellow brothers accountable. I took total accountability during that whole segment. During that whole time when my words and what I was trying to convey was being misscrewed. It's all good. That doesn't make me the person that I am. But when you go on this platform or any platform and say that I'm lying, I take offense. I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie. There's no reason to lie. Okay? If I was going to lie, why not make it look better? But it's all good, Mr. Shannon. I just want to come on here and express. For one, I wasn't lying. And for another, I didn't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate the fact that this young man, Mike, asked you a question about men that are not standing up or upholding a man alpha type status, or even being progressive or seeking, growth. That basically was his question. What can we do about that? How can we address that? That would have been a much better, nicer thing to answer. But let's continue on and see what you said. I'm not even sure what else you said at this point, but I got one more thing to bring up, and it's later in the show. But let's finish this part for right now. Okay? Okay.
To create. That's what we do. Everything that we're holding, our computers, the house that you're in was built by men. The walls that you're staring at right now, everybody, the car that you're in was constructed by men. And so men should have an ambition to do things, but if you're not that guy, that's okay. That's okay. But it's starting to become, I think it's more of a generational thing. I think somebody talked about the new generations now are laying flat.
It's not a new generation thing, Mr. Shannon. My ex-husband is 54. I'm 53. Okay? It's just he wasn't taught. He didn't have an example. And then, with that aside, at a point, if you want to thrive as a person, you will take different examples that you come across in your life. However, if you don't go around no one new, you're still hanging around the same people you were hanging around since you were in elementary school. If you're not feeding your brain, if you're not even engaging with people, what can you expect? So no, it's not the newer generation. It is every generation, okay? There's a little bit of that in every generation. Okay, it's an individual thing for the most part. Yes, it happens a lot to these are men that are raised by single mothers. But at a certain point, a man has to own and hold his own accountability. There's a lot of learning things out here. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm let you go a little bit longer, and then there's one more thing that I wanted to bring up.
They're laying down. Everybody wants to just lay in the bed all day long. They wake up, but they don't get up. They wake up in the morning. Men are now, the young men particularly, are waking up but not getting up. They're staying in bed because, life is easy. If you get your PPP check, if you figure out a little hustle, maybe check your crypto, you're not going anywhere and you're not doing anything. And that's fine if that's how you get down. But
I just want to make sure I'm going to let this play because I want his whole point to get across so you guys can get the vast of what he's saying. Even though I'm done, he's done addressing me, but I don't want to cut it off there just in case you didn't see the whole broadcast of this episode. And then once he's done talking, just so you can have the totality of what he's saying. And guess what, guys? No one's cutting him off. He's able to answer. Full stop. No one's cutting him off. No one's interrupting him. Okay. Let's continue.
But if you know that that's not what you want to be, I think what needs to happen, and to answer your question directly, that's a little backstory. To answer your question on what can we do to break that cycle, is to direct as many of your partners, to direct as many of
We got a little hood
many
partners.
of you youngsters, friends, to spaces like this, to the Lapeef Network. Send them over to the crew season. Send them to me, so they can pay attention to this stuff. I talked to my brother last night, my bigger brother, and we was talking about his youngest son, my nephew. He said his son is on YouTube.
Okay, so we're going to end that there. And I'm going to go to the next portion of the show that I wanted to share. Uno momento, please. I'm learning Spanish. Okay, guys, I found the next spot that I wanted to share what Shannon said about something totally different, but I really did appreciate what he shared, and it is exactly how I feel as well. But while I was looking and trying to find the spot and listening, all these brothers on here are fine. Some nice looking brothers. I love to see that, and talking so eloquent and able to express themselves. I really love seeing this. Okay, so let's go into, I just wanted to share another thing that Shannon had said, and then I'll give my input on it afterwards.
Do you have the wisdom that you need to apply this? See, in the military, you can't be a general unless you're over 40 years old. That's just the way it goes. There's no way to be. If you graduated high school at 18, enlisted, went to officer candidate school, and got everything done, and went as fast as you possibly can, you still won't be a brigadier general until you're 42 years old. It takes 20 years to become one, and the reason why that's the case is because you have to have wisdom to be able to lead this amount of troops into battle. It requires the wisdom. It doesn't require the knowledge. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care if you learned the art of war and you learned all of this kind of stuff when you was 25, 26, 27 years old. We require time in service. You got to get the time in service stripes on the left arm, not just so before you get the 1 star on your lapel. And so I hear what you're saying. The problem is these OGs is acting like we don't know what we're talking about. We know that you know what you're talking about, but do you know how to apply it to make it work for you? That you don't know. And because when I was 25 years old, when I was 20, I thought I knew everything until I was 25. And then when I was 25, I thought I knew everything until I was 30. And then I said, damn, I didn't know the fuck I was talking about when I was 25. And then when I got 35, I said, shit, I still don't know. At 35, I thought I knew. When I turned 40, I said, I'm giving up. I'm not going to act like I know anything. Now I'm at 49, still learning stuff. But it took me till 40 years old to realize, stop thinking I know everything. If only I knew that and had the wisdom to know that when I was 20, I'd be a multi-millionaire today.
Right.
Multiple
Look
millions.
at there.
But it took me all this time to realize that. And so I know that I know youngsters, I know that you guys think you know everything that you need to know. You probably have the book smarts. You probably know all the code. You probably memorized the textbook. I got it. But to apply it to make it work for you is going to require a little bit of wisdom and some time and service to make it work.
Oh yeah, completely 100% agree. I just wanted to clear that up with a lot of your young.
Okay, guys, so the reason why, let me switch over here. The reason why I wanted to share that, because I 100% believe that. I have expressed that in a couple of my podcast episodes about how as you go through life experience, you learn and you grow. You make better decisions because of that, okay? Just because I decided what was best for me and my family, my kids, was the divorce. Because there was no way that I was going to continue to allow my son or my daughter see this behavior as okay. It was never okay with me, but things got progressively worse as time went on and he would not keep his word. I stayed in there so long because I wanted to keep my family intact, because I did not want to get a divorce. I really wanted my marriage to work. But it came to a point to where I could no longer do this. It progressively got worse, meaning he started smoking more weed, meaning that he was always going to the hood to hang out, not putting anything into our kids, I can go on, okay? And then when I went on to express, they said, oh, you can't find anything good to say about him. I said the truth. And I stand behind it, and I have no problem with him ever speaking up or saying anything, because I was an amazing wife to him. I am an amazing mother to our children. Even with everything he did, I still was amazing to him. Yes, I am tooting my own horn because that's who I am, as far as I am a giver. I am that nurturer, okay? However, in this process of me going through this marriage with him, I have learned that, okay, I need to be more discerning who I develop a relationship with, a marriage with. I went through this. I learned a great deal. And yes, I take full accountability. I chose him. I went on with him. Yes, I did. But we're here now. And now I have to deal with now. What's best for my kids, what's best for me. And I want to say one more thing, that I hold no ill will, no grudge against my ex. I never have, I never will. I'm disappointed, yes, very disappointed. I'm hurt at certain things that he did. But I hold no grudge, okay? So I just wanted to come on here and address this again. And and I really wanted to take this opportunity, especially when Shannon once again turned it on me, okay? That at the end of that, he finally did answer the young man's question. But why did he have to go into this whole thing about, and he was saying it with passion. He was saying it more aggressively, not aggressively, I don't like using that word, especially with black people. He was using it more passionate, like he really wanted to get this point across that I was lying, which I wasn't. And then when he got back to speaking, which I thought was great points for the most part, speaking to men, he was more like laid back. It just seems like there's so much distaste for black women. I'm just saying, I'm not saying all, but that's what I'm getting. Like I didn't work my whole adult life up until like the last maybe 2 years, maybe, night shift, had no involvement with today's society. I'm not a big TV watcher. I like to read, and I was working a lot, okay? But now that I'm seeing all these different platforms and really loving this YouTube platform of people sharing and learning and all this great things, and very outspoken, positive or negative, I love it all. I really do. And when I say that I did not know what to look for in a man at the time, I'm being 100% honest, I didn't. I truly believed that every man innately was going to fall into that role of being a man, being a leader, even though he didn't have a job at the time. I still believe that. I know better now, okay? I know better now. And I hung in there as long as I could because I wanted my family. But it was time, and it was best for me and my children, and him for that matter. So, there's not a cookie cutter answer for everyone. We are individuals, and each situation is very unique. So if you want to offer your advice on anything or your opinion, take the time to know what you're talking about in that given situation. And this is just not for Shannon, it's for anyone, everyone. You know, even Mr. Kevin Samuel, he developed this whole point, this viewpoint about me, didn't let me answer the questions, was just speaking like he speak. Depending on when you answer this way, he'll say this, or if you say this, he'll say that. That doesn't work for everyone, okay? God made us all individual, so uniquely made, so uniquely develop and experience life so many different ways. The same person or two different people can go through the same thing and come out with a different outcome. It's not a cookie cutter life. And I'm grateful for that. So I just want to take this time to share this with you guys. I promise y'all, I was about to go to bed after that show went off. But I turned on these lights. I plugged in my camera because I just wanted to give my perspective and to set the record straight, which it won't be. People are still going to believe I'm lying or think I'm lying, which is fine. It's okay. I know I'm not lying. My Heavenly Father knows I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie. But I just wanted to come on here and say that and share that. To Mr. Shannon, yeah. I was trying to think of something positive to say. You're very handsome. You're well spoken. I thank you for your years of service. It sounded like you was in the service of what do you call it? What is they call? Each one is called something else. I know it's called. It wants to come to me. But I thank you for your years of service. I thank every man that has put in. I thank all men that has put in to develop our country, our world. I admire men. I respect men. I look up to men. I really do. I respect the order. I love things as traditional. I'm not a modern woman in one bit. Not in one bit. Okay. Oh, you know I'm still trying to think of what it's called. It's gonna kill me, and I know as soon as I turn off this camera, it's services. No, it's it's right there. Okay, anyway. But I thank you. I thank you. I thank all the men that put themselves out there and share. And one more thing, you women out there, whether you consider yourself modern, traditional, whatever it may be, as I do, I am true to myself in knowing what I believe in, who I live for, and what I want in my life. So whatever that might be for you, I hope that you take from my situation that if you are modern, maybe find yourself a modern man. If you are traditional, maybe you should find yourself a traditional man. Find someone that's on that same understanding as you are. That is one thing I would like to share, but I will go more further into this later. And I am a talker, and here I am about to start a whole nother show. But anyway, I appreciate you all for taking your time to come onto my channel, to listen to what I have to say about things. I really do appreciate you. And I'm looking so forward to growing this platform with women where we can feed into each other, where we can be vulnerable, where we can be honest and help each other. I want us to inspire, to encourage, and challenge us all. That is my purpose. And I want us to do that together. You don't have to be as open as I am. Just be you. Give what you can give. Because whatever that is, I promise you, it will help someone. So I'm going to go now. Please subscribe. Please like if you like. And until next time, it's me, Just Kaya. Real talk, honey. Bye, you guys. I appreciate you.